What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers finished their summer league, and we only won one game. That's never good. You always want to see, but summer league, it's not about the wins and losses, right? It's more about seeing the young guys grow, develop, right? Bronny James and the strides that he made. Dalton Connect, we'll talk about that. I want to kind of go over in this video, kind of break down the summer league and things that I saw, things that I liked, things that I didn't like. But in general, it's more about kind of evaluating young talent that could potentially make the roster or be on two-way deals. We also didn't get to see kind of two of the main guys that we were really looking forward to seeing, and Eric Dixon as well as Adu Thero, right? Those are the kind of the two guys that were like, hey, these two guys might be able to come in and make an immediate impact for the Lakers. And both guys were out with injury. Adu Thero, he was drafted. That's one of the reasons he actually fell, was because of the injury. So, we knew that. The Eric Dixon one was the one that kind of, came out of left field. That one was we didn't even hear about it until, later when he was, walking around in a walking boot and somebody reported it. So, that whole situation was weird in and of itself. But, obviously I would have loved to still be competing and playing for a summer league championship, right? That's always fun. Lakers had that arguably the greatest summer league team ever assembled. What was that? That was a while ago, right? That was 7 years ago now, 8 years ago, whatever it was, right? But point is, it's about the young development guys. And, the two main guys that I want to talk about right out the gate are Bronny James and Dalton Connect, right? Those are the two guys that I really had excitement and optimism for, right? Bronny, a little timid, right? The first year, kind of, you saw what could potentially be the athleticism, right? The speed, the defense. It's just it's there. It's just he needs to kind of wake up a little bit, right? Understand hey, I'm in the league type thing. And, a lot of guys are like that. Max Christie, year one, talked about how hey, this guy's playing like a guy that's trying to make the roster, make the team, rather than a guy that's on it. And then you saw in year two that growth and development, that just stride that he took in year two. And that's why it was so disappointing he wasn't an actual rotation guy or got some type of consistent minutes, because it was man, look at what he was doing in summer league, right? Can we see, because it's one thing to do it in summer league, it's one thing to do it in the G League, it's another thing to actually do it in the NBA. But how do you know until he actually gets that opportunity? And then when he finally did, he was great. And so much so, we're all still man, you never should have traded Max Christie. I saw the potential of Bronny kind of following that trajectory. Right? Look, I've been a big Bronny guy, big Bronny defender. Right? I think he has the talent. People forget the guy was as high as a lottery pick, before the cardiac arrest and stuff. People don't like LeBron, so they want to trash the kid, which I always think is silly. Maybe it's the father in me. I don't know, but I don't understand. One, I don't know why anyone would trash a player on your team. I'm a Laker fan. I'm not going to be obviously we can be honest, but why would you be rooting for the failure of a 19-year-old kid? Anybody. I don't want to go into a Bronny rant because I've gone on enough of them, but it's just, I don't get the logic on it. And it's can we let this young man develop here? If he was anybody else with the 55th pick, all of us would be talking about how we got the steal of the draft and look at him, just give it a couple years, right? And then we got in a summer league this year and boom, all the narratives starting to change and you're starting to see the positive light because Bronny James is out there cooking. Dude is doing work. Now he's not perfect. He still has a lot of work to do. The defense is there. Defense looks NBA ready for sure. He looks like a guy that can knock down that corner three from either corner, right? But he does still need some work, which is fine. He's 20 years old. He's a kid. Right? He's younger than our draft pick this year, right? So the fact that, hey, he still needs to kind of work on, his handles, taking guys off the dribble, his playmaking abilities, but he is the exact type of player that the Lakers need. Point of attack defense, 3-and-D guard, right, that can slot in. I think he could be that guy. I think he has the potential to be a rotation player as soon as this season. I love the strides that we took. He doesn't have to be a superstar. Can he just be that good, serviceable 3-and-D guy? I think the sky's the limit for the young man, but even if he's not, even if he's just a more athletic Gabe Vincent, perfect, right? Dalton Connect. he was very disappointing. Right, I've talked a lot about Dalton Connect recently, just because again I'm just so let down. I don't know if it's the trade, him getting traded and then coming back. I don't know what it is, his confidence is shot or whatnot. But again, it wasn't the offense, right? This thing that I keep talking about and highlighting. I don't care about the offense. We know he can score the basketball. He could have averaged 0 points and went 0 for 100 shooting during Summer League, and I still would be like, I'm not worried about the offense. The type of actions and opportunities and shots and just the way that the game's played at an NBA level is not the same as the random chaos that Summer League is at times, right? So, I know he will be able to generate offense. I'm not worried about the offensive side of things. We've seen it. It's everything else. It's the defense. It's the lack of ball hand. It's like he got worse. That was one of the bright spots with him. He's not just a spot up catch. He's not just, a Cole Schwider type. Catch and shoot 3-point shooter. We'll talk about Cole here in a moment. But, he's a guy that was looked at as he can take guys off the dribble, be a legit 3-level scorer. And he just was awful. He couldn't finish at the rim. Couldn't shoot over people. He's turning the ball over. He can't handle the basketball. He's dribbling off of his feet. It was a total mess. And it really is disappointing, right? And I think that if you're trying to make a case for the Lakers not to trade him, right, or he's trying to stay a Laker, it's a good way to end up getting traded before it's too late. It's the lack of defense too. Why did you fall out of the rotation, Connect? Because you can't defend. You were a worse defensive player. And he was, again, a worse defense player in Summer League. He's getting blown by every possession. When he is trying to stay in front of guys, it's only because he's grabbing them, so he gets the whistle and gets fouled and gets in foul trouble because he can't stay in front of guys. But it's crazy because he has the size, the length, and the athleticism, but he cannot stay in front of guys. Doesn't shift his feet well, which he had one of the best shuttle and lane in all of the draft combine when he was doing it. So, I don't know what it is. Teams were literally switch hunting him. Go watch the end of that Spurs game, right? The Lakers were getting switch hunted and they were targeting Dalton Connect. Every possession, they would put Dalton Connect in the action and then force him to have to defend. And he was getting torched every time. It was so frustrating to see. And it's just take some pride. I'm not asking him to be elite, but you're getting killed in Summer League. And then I'm going to expect you to be good in the regular? It just doesn't really work that way more often than not. Darius Basley. It's a bummer, right? Point blank. You hate to see it. You hate to see it for a young man that's trying to get back into the league, that's trying to earn his spot and was looking like he was headed in that direction. Whether it was the Lakers or somebody else, somebody was going to pick him up. Hopefully somebody still does, but given the injury, given that he's not on a roster and he's trying to prove it, more often than not, those guys don't get on a roster spot. I hope that this doesn't deter him because he was great. Showed the defensive versatility, his ability to defend literally 1 through 5, his size, his length, his ability to take guys off the dribble. I would still love the Lakers, and I hope that they do, keep him under the banner, right? If you don't want to sign him to a 2, or you can't sign him to a 2-way, so can you sign him to the G League? Let him go through rehab, keep him under the umbrella that is the Lakers, right? Let him spend the year in the G League, kind of rehabbing, getting himself together, getting himself right. We still don't, at least at the time of recording this video, still don't have the details on exactly what it was. So, it looked pretty significant, right? Whatever it was. Hopefully it's something that they can kind of work through. Maybe if it's not bad, maybe it's something that he can kind of resolve and maybe have an opportunity come training camp. That would be awesome. We're still 2.5 months from training camp. So maybe if he can but you also don't want to rush him, right? He wants to get right so that way he can, make that roster at some point. But it's such a bummer. Seriously, it's you never want to see an injury period from anybody, but especially from somebody that is showing he belongs in the league, trying. It's just like, come on, man. It's just another hurdle. But hey, for him, it's another bump in the road. Right? It sucks, but you lift up your trousers and you get it going, right? Like you do what you got to do. It sucks. It's unfortunate. You hate to see it, but he's going to be on a roster if he just sticks with it. He showed everything that you want to see. Defensive versatility, offensive versatility, needs to work on his three-point shot and stuff like that. But again, he's a guy that has a ton of potential and capabilities. But also kind of getting into the kind of off guys that I think have a shot, guys that I think, showed promise. I don't want to, like, half these guys, if not almost 90% of these guys, aren't going to be on the roster. Right? There were a couple guys that had some nice games and whatnot, RJ and stuff, but they're not going to, they didn't show enough, in my opinion, to where the Lakers, I think, are going to bring them on a two-way or sign them anything. Right? The only one that I'm a little disappointed that I wish we would have gotten to see more was Kaluma. Right? Arthur Kaluma, in the limited moments that we saw, looked the part, right? Just big, physical, athletic, versatile, kind of two-way 3-and-D sort of wing. And in the limited role opportunities that we had, he looked the part. Now, maybe it's because the Lakers already plan on having him, be on the roster long-term or two-way or whatever. It could be a real possibility. I think the Lakers kind of have an idea of like who that's going to be. Me personally, that's just my thoughts. I think it'll be Eric Dixon, Arthur Kaluma, and then maybe a Christian Koloko, right? They keep Koloko on kind of that two-way. That'll probably be their 3 two-way guys, is my guess. I think you got to keep Kaluma. I just think he's the exact type of player that you need. Right? Give him some opportunities, give him some roles. We'll kind of see how that plays out. Cole Schwider, Lakers have several needs right now that I think need to be addressed first. But if they could solve that and open up a roster spot, I really think you should bring in Cole Schwider. Right? Just as like an assignment shooting guy. Like, I'm not saying he has to come in and play 30 minutes, 40 minutes, anything like that, but just to have, like, he was improved too. From the first stint with the Lakers in Summer League to now, he looked like a completely different player. We always knew he could shoot, but the defense was much improved. Not great. Like, it's not something where I'm like, oh man, like he's clamps, put him on, on Ja and like nothing like that, right? But, he was much better than before, right? Than the last stint. He was holding his own. He was staying in front of guys, using his length. I like it. I was more impressed with his defense than I was with Dalton Connects. I also think Cole Schwider can play the role that the Lakers would need. I think Cole plays it better, right? Just that off-ball catch-and-shoot movement shooter, right? Spot up in the corner, just tight window, boom, can get it off. Right? Where Connect, he can do that, but he's more than that. And it's almost unfair to him to utilize him just as that. Where I think Cole Schwider, given the age, given everything, like I think he's fine, comfortable, and happy to have that role. And I think he'd just be happy to be there, right? Type thing. So if the Lakers were able to, let's say they wave shake, make a couple trades, and they open up like another 2 or 3 roster spots. You bring in, say, whatever. I'm just names that are popping in my head. Right? Bring in an Andrew Wiggins, bring in, a Josh Okogie, and you still have a roster spot. And it's like, okay, we just solved our point of attack 3-and-D issues. Okay, like let's give Schwider a chance. We traded Dalton Connect in that trade, right? So we could use kind of that shooter to offset it. I think Cole Schwider would be fine. So yeah, I don't know if he will actually make the roster, but I would bring him in for training camp, right? And like let him see what he looks like with the main roster and main guys, and kind of see like how does he fit alongside Luka and LeBron? Because I mean, he's the quality of life that he would have playing alongside Luka and LeBron would be insane. But in general, I thought we saw a couple nice, saw some promising young players. I think there's a couple guys that still like. Probably another year, keep working on honing your craft for another year, come back, work with another organization, work with the Lakers. You never know. Right? There could be one of the guys that are on the roster that didn't really get minutes or didn't really get an opportunity or did get an opportunity but didn't look great, that this time next year we're all like, I can't believe that guy was on the Lakers Summer League roster and now he's tearing it up for this team over here, right? Like, it happens. Part of how it works. right? Like you're gonna miss some, you're gonna hit some, you're gonna find some. It's part of the game. But I did really like and enjoy kind of the games of the summer league. Bronny was the biggest standout, right? Like he was their best player and just was night and day from last year. Darius Basley, I thought him and Cole Schweider really stood out as but they have experience, right? They've been in the league for so they were two guys that mates and they looked like NBA players, right? Like that's what it looked like. So no, and then like I said, Kaluma, we didn't get enough of, which was disappointing, but as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Also, I'm going to do full breakdowns of each player. Not every player in the Summer League, just because, again, like half of them didn't even really play. But just kind of the guys that I mentioned, a couple that I didn't, over on AIS, the Lakers show. So if you made it to the end of this video, look forward to those videos over on that channel. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.